In the dead of night, a single computer error nearly triggered a nuclear apocalypse. 9 warheads, armed and ready, aimed at the heart of the Soviet Union, and no one realized it was all a mistake. This is the story of one of the closest brushes with global annihilation that almost no one talks about. A 1979 false alarm that nearly launched the United States into World War III. It's a terrifying reminder of how fragile peace can be, and how easily a glitch can bring the world to the edge of destruction. Let's set the stage. It's the late 1970s. The Cold War is a chess match on steroids, a global power struggle where both players are armed with thousands of nuclear weapons. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction was the glue holding civilization together. It meant if one side fired, the other would retaliate. No turning back, no winners. The U.S. had NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, based deep inside Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado. It monitored global missile launches 24/7. The Soviets had a similar system called Vozdukh-1, constantly scanning the skies for any sign of a U.S. strike. Both nations knew a nuclear war would be catastrophic, but both feared the other would strike first. In this environment of constant tension, mistakes weren't just costly, they were potentially world-ending. On the morning of November 9, 1979, NORAD's computer screen suddenly showed what looked like the beginning of World War III. A massive wave of Soviet missiles, hundreds of them, appeared to launch from silos across the USSR. At 8:50 a.m., the U.S. went into immediate high alert. Missile crews across the country were notified. Bombers were placed on airborne alert. Nuclear submarines were contacted. Strategic Air Command was informed to prepare for launch. The National Military Command Center at the Pentagon was buzzing. President Jimmy Carter wasn't briefed directly in the first few minutes. Standard protocol meant that the National Security Advisor, Zbigniew Brzezinski, was the first in the loop. Brzezinski, asleep in bed, was told that 250 Soviet missiles were heading toward the U.S. He was about to call the president and advise a full nuclear response. But just minutes before the retaliatory strike orders would have been given, someone noticed something strange. None of the USS ground-based radar systems had picked up anything. The military needed multiple sources to confirm a nuclear attack: satellites, ground radar, submarine sonar. In this case, only NORAD's internal systems showed the attack. No other data sources confirmed it. Someone dug deeper and found something horrifying. A training tape had been accidentally inserted into a live computer. The tape simulated a Soviet missile launch, but it was never meant to be run on the actual early warning system. Because it wasn't properly labeled or isolated from real operations, it triggered a full red alert across NORAD and its connected defense systems. The tapes were usually run on separate air-gapped systems, but in this case, someone had routed a simulation into the real-time warning network. The system believed it was real, and everyone reacted accordingly. The entire world came within moments of retaliatory nuclear strike. After the incident, Congress demanded an explanation. The U.S. Department of Defense quickly tried to downplay the seriousness, calling it a minor malfunction. But behind the scenes? Officials were terrified. The incident exposed a deep vulnerability that a single, mislabeled tape, an outdated training method, could nearly end life on Earth. The Air Force initiated a review of command protocols. More redundancy and cross-verification between different early warning systems were put in place. They added physical separation between test systems and operational networks. But even as they fixed one issue, others lingered. Fast forward just 7 months later, June 3, 1980. It happens again. This time, a faulty 46-cent chip inside a NORAD computer system falsely reported that a nuclear strike was underway. Once again, B-52 bombers were put on alert. Silos were opened. Crews awaited orders. It took nearly an hour before the chip was traced as the cause of the error. Twice in less than a year, the world stood on the edge of irreversible catastrophe, all because of bad code and aging hardware. Let that sink in. A 46-cent component almost started World War III. Today, things are different, but maybe not safer. Many of the world's nuclear arsenals still run on decades-old technology. Some U.S. systems still use floppy disks to control intercontinental ballistic missiles. And with AI now being tested in military decision-making, there's a whole new kind of risk: algorithmic misinterpretation, false data loops, or adversaries hacking simulations. The systems may have evolved, but the human factor and the potential for error remains very much the same. On that November morning in 1979, we got lucky. Cool heads, redundant systems, and a question: is this real? Saved the world from disaster. But the terrifying truth is that it could happen again. A glitch, a bug, a miscommunication. That's all it takes. If this video taught you something new, hit the like button. It helps us tell more stories like this one. Subscribe for more forgotten moments and what-ifs from history. And let me know in the comments, what do you think would have happened if those 9 warheads had actually launched? See you in the next one.